lovely to meet you yet again. And I think we have met more often this year than we have in the past. Don't you think so?
Yes, virtually though. No, last year we met quite often, Pooja.
We did, but it's
Three
about
times last
every two
year.
months we've been meeting because you've been
Huh.
actively working, so.
Yes, yes.
So, Bhumi, you literally made us laugh. You made us think about ourselves, you made us introspect. Now you also set to scare us. Were you spooked or do you like getting spooked?
Uh, Neither, actually. I am somebody who I was very frightened of watching like horror films. It was a genre that would really like freak me out. It's only like over the last 2 years that I've kind of warmed up to the genre. I'm the kind of person who like sit with the eyes covered and like hold hands and like scream and like throw popcorn on people when I'm in a cinema watching a horror film. But after doing one, I think my I've become stronger towards the genre. And also, it's a lot of fun. I think, especially for an actor, to be a part of a horror film is a lot of fun because you get to learn a lot.
And this is not something that you've done before. And, reading
No.
about the character, it seems like a very taxing exercise for an actor. You have that green screen on top of those emotions of being possessed by an entity.
Yeah.
Did it take its toll on you? What was it like for you?
It definitely did. This by far is, I kid you not, Pooja, it's maybe my toughest role emotionally, physically so far. Because again, you're performing in front of, it's a very visually VFX heavy film, and you don't have those stimulants that you're reacting to. You usually have like your co-actor, or you have like an ambience, or you have like an environment that you're reacting to. Over here, most of the time, while I was getting scared or while I was scaring, whoever I was in the film, I didn't know if it's all going to come together, and I feel that's why it's very important to have a director who has complete conviction and somebody who you have complete conviction of, because the medium is so visual and audio visual heavy that you just need to understand that, okay, this person has it together and he can see what you can't see. I usually prep a lot for a film. For Durgamati, I really didn't know what to do because whatever I was doing, like when I was on set, because when I was in the middle of this massive set with those clothes on, I just felt differently. So I couldn't really rehearse in my room, in my vanity. There was just nothing. I just went and I just succumbed myself. The only thing that I probably prepped for is that my character, Chanchal Chauhan, who's an IAS and she's serving jail time. So just to crack that psyche, and because it's a conspiracy thriller, I just had to make sure that through my performance, I'm not giving too much away, I'm not holding too much back. It's a very complicated performance for an actor, like physically and emotionally, and I feel it honestly is an opportunity of a lifetime.
I'm sure. And you'd seen the original before.
I have. I have.
Usually, actors don't like to watch it because they feel they might get influenced. Did
You
you
know,
take away
I
anything or did you blank yourself?
No, I actually watched it when Durgamati didn't happen for me. So I didn't know that I'm going to land up doing the remake. So I remember watching the film and I was like, you know what? This role is a role of a lifetime for any female actor because, we rarely get an opportunity where we have a canvas like so, where it's so larger than life and you are literally shouldering the film and it's action, it's drama, it's horror, it's emotional, it's grueling, and there's a lot of visuals and a lot of things that I do in the film are things that you usually see male actors do. Women don't usually get an opportunity like this. So I remember watching the film and I was like, damn, like, she's a lucky girl. This looks like a lot of fun and it's a great challenge. And a couple of months after that, Durgamati came my way. And I was like, hell yeah, I have to do it. But by the time I started work on the film, I had literally blocked out a lot of the film that I'd seen. I just remembered the basic storyline, but I conditioned myself to kind of get the brilliant performance that Anushka had done out of my system because every character that I do is very personal of my process, and I wanted this one to be as well. Um, Again, as I said, just on paper, I had a lot of opportunity to do so much with this role. And it had to be something that I had created and not like a me too. That's very, very important for me. And yeah, hopefully whenever people watch the film, it will all come together.
Now, since you manifested this for yourself, which is that other movie that you wish they would cast you if they're planning to do a remake ever?
I
Since
don't
you
know. I
have,
haven't really. I think I've done my share of remakes over the last 2 years. I had Pati Patni and then I have this. So I think I can like. But you know what? I would really like to do like a slice of life, like a Rishikesh Mukherjee, Basu Chatterjee vibe for remake. I don't know. I think I'll be great in a space like that.
2021 हो गया, मिल जाएगा, announcement हो जाएगी अभी कुछ दिनों में,
I
knowing
hope,
you.
yeah. I think after Durgamati, I would want to do something that's like lighter. It's been a rather heavy run for me this year.
True. And I always knew you had strong shoulders, but now you're literally carrying this on your, shoulders. And it's also really nice because actors like you are of that generation where you feel that narratives around you, you've opened that space for many others. And also, as they कहते हैं ना, safe investment है. So do you think this is just a sign of times now? Movies like Durgamati and the kind you've done before.
I hope, yeah. I truly hope, Pooja, because there has to be some kind of an equality where characters and storylines are concerned, right? Like I personally, because of the filmography that I've had, I only see myself taking on more responsibility. I don't want to shy away from that because I really feel that, the times today are such where good content is appreciated, where stronger performances are appreciated, and I'm ready for that. And it's just not me. I feel all my colleagues, all of us, we girls, we work really hard. We put in a lot of hard work in all our characters, and we have it tough. And that's why we have to put in like 10 times the effort. And I just feel that, times are changing. If you look at all the work that my colleagues are also doing, right? Be it Alia, be it Tapsi, anybody. I think we all have kind of taken this challenge on. And luckily, we have filmmakers and producers and writers that are here to support us as well. Now, what we really need in full swing and full power is the support that the audiences need to give us. It started off for me personally with Sandhya, and then there was Kitty over Chamak Sitare. Now there is Durgamati. And I just feel like, we need to support films that are helmed by women in whatever, like, they could be acting in one, they could be directing one, they could be producing one. And I believe in gender equality. And that's why, when people say woman-centric films, it really bothers me. But what I'm trying to say is if me calling a woman-centric film helps, then why not?
The other day, there was an interesting conversation. People were generally discussing the Bechdel test. Can two women do a film and not discuss a man? And everyone kept thinking, which could that be? The movie, Sant Ki Aankh.
Absolutely.
And only film that came out was Sant Ki Aankh. It was about women discussing themselves, no man involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, Sant Ki Aankh was that film. But even if you look at the narrative that Dolly Kitty had, it was pretty much about their relationship. They had their individual they had their individual men, but the conversation was always about these two women because it was their complicated relationship. True. And that's the idea, right? To keep doing like empowered roles. Like even in Durgamati, she is not a damsel in distress. It's a very, very strong, it's a very, very empowering character. And what I really enjoyed about this film is that usually when you have a woman-led narrative, people just put it in a niche, right? They just automatically feel, as men, we aren't really going to connect But with this film specifically, I feel it's so massy in its approach. It's so visually large. The canvas is so large. It's so like high on drama and every kind of emotion that I really feel that it's a film that's really going to appeal to both the genders, like the Southern one did. So, yeah.
So theater, I know this is a movie actually meant for the big screen because, you have those jump scare moments that there is silence and suddenly boom, So, I mean, honestly, that's something that now at this moment we can't, but it's a great platform you have. But what are you like during the day of release? Has it changed because you've already had 2 films on this platform, or is it the same for you? What is Bhumi like on a Friday?
I think, see, the box office pressure isn't there, right? But you still have some pressure because, I think the platform is a platform meant for a very woke audience, an audience that literally says it the way it is. I don't think there can be any frills attached. If it's a good film, it will be appreciated. If it's not a good film, it won't be appreciated. And so the pressure is there. The pressure is there because, you have people that are going to watch the film and they are going to give some kind of a review out. And I really work very hard in my performance, and I've tried to do credible cinema, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of hard work to be able to say no to something that maybe pay me double or 2.5 times of what some other film that I have full faith in because of the credibility of the film would. And so I think the pressure is always there because I want people to enjoy my movie. But it is also very, very liberating when you don't have that box office pressure. It is because now people are purely going to react to the content of the film. It's not like it's going to be missed. People are going to watch it. And that's the beauty of a platform like, Amazon Prime Video. It reaches to 200 countries. The reach is amazing. Your film gets the film gets a fair chance. Because, from whatever I've understood is that you land up watching everything. If you truly enjoy the content, you'll finish it. If you don't, then you have something better to watch.
And says the ladies whose films have always done very well on the box office.
I know, but it's it's very unnerving. I think not much has changed for me where my Friday is concerned. I get very, very nervous.
I mean, are you the kind who's like worried till the first show has happened and then the reviews come, or are you just like kind of calm?
No. I mean, I'm calm. I'm not like a nervous wreck. I'm not like moody, and I think I'm overtly calm. I think I'm scary levels of calm because I just like become zen. I just become quiet, and I'm just like in my room. Like I just have like this monotone expression going on, and my family just knows, just like give a peace because I just want peace and calm around me when I have a release because there's a lot of manifestation that happens. There's a lot of thinking, there are a lot of opinions that you have to listen to, and at times that you have to, block. And I think that's very important for personal growth because people can really tear you apart. And I had an experience like that, right? Like when Son Chiriya happened, the film was given such love, but it was off theaters in 6 days. And for me, it's still one of my most special movies. But at that time, it's very important to understand and recollect and remember the reasons you did the film and what you have gotten out of the film because I got a lot out of Son Chiriya. I got award nominations. I got a chance to work with filmmakers that that saw my performance in the film and gave me opportunities later. And also one of my strongest films in my filmography because I feel a good film will always be remembered. Your box office numbers really won't be remembered. Nobody's going to go back and be like, oh God, that film had made like 400 crores. No, but they'll always think about a film that's good enough to go down in history. And that's the kind of legacy I want to leave behind. So, it's very important to kind of remind yourself about these things on the day of your release because, things can go either way. But you need to remember that you've done this film because you had conviction on the material. And at times it works, at times it doesn't work. And you just need to be prepared because hopefully it's not the last film that you're doing.
This is so wonderful what you said because I heard a young actor in a drama say that. I don't want these commercially, it's a good formula film. I just want a good filmography. And that's exactly what you've said. Doesn't matter. That's also kind of risky also because sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry, then take that risk. You don't know which way it may go.
I've always tried to kind of choose films that have that balance, where you have like a commercial value along with like along with strong content. So there's a risk anyway, right? Like you have short formula films that completely work on paper that eventually have gone and not worked. And so I think every film, I don't think there's anything that's a short hit. But you have certain goals and ambitions for yourself, right? And as far as that film fulfills those goals and ambitions, you should be okay. So, and I think what me, Ayushmann, or like, even Karthik, Rajkumar, Taapsee, what we all have always tried to do is give high content films that have certain amount of commercial value to them. So I'm not pompous like that. Like, I'm not trying to create cinema for myself. My movies have to reach people. There are no two ways about it. I get very disappointed when I don't have an audience that turns out for my film. I've not really experienced that yet in a big way. I've had one experience maybe, but it is very disheartening for an actor when you don't have people that turn out and you only have people that write good things about the film. By the end of it, we make movie for the masses and they need to come watch our movie.
Thank you so much for talking to me. 2020 was not what we had envisioned it to be. 2021 के लिए एक क्या wish है आपकी, as we are just about to step into the new year? 2021
I
to
think
be.
what I definitely want is for the pandemic to be over. I really hope that the world never goes through a situation like this ever again. It was really, really difficult.
Thank you so much. We'll unleash Durga Mati on the virus now. Thank you so much. All the very best. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you,
so much.
Pooja. Always.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you.